Hi students, I am Dr. Menchaca Banyulo. I am your teacher for basic political ideas. I love teaching this class. Um, I have never been disappointed by a class in basic political ideas. Um, a philosopher I admire a lot says that students who have more real world experience, whether that be how they grew up or if they have to think a lot more about practical things or if they have to be more responsible for different things having to do with their family or friends or jobs or whatever, that this kind of student who has to balance multiple things in their life is often the kind of student who really grabs onto political philosophy in a way that's almost intuitive. And that has been my experience here at Texas State. For the first day, I don't really like to use your time to go over the syllabus in class. I think that is a waste of time in some cases. I can do that this way for you. And I also like to use this day as a time to get you to get your feet wet in some of the big questions about justice and law and I think you might say human nature or fate, whatever you would like to think about, kind of the basic metaphysical assumptions of the world. I want you to get your feet wet. And the way we do that in this class is by having you watch the movie No Country for Old Men, which is based on a Cormac McCarthy novel. It's a Coen Brothers film. It's a pretty good film. It may not be your cup of tea, but in terms of like production values and acting, it's very good. Script writing, very good. And I'm going to expect you to, as you're watching this, do discussion questions that I'll assign. That is what I want you to do for class on Monday. So don't come to class physically. Don't come to class. Do this instead. Come prepared to physically hand in to me discussion questions over the film. And we're actually going to talk about those discussion questions in class on Wednesday. We're going to have a little lecture and get our feet wet through discussing with each other the work you've done, right? So for the rest of the course, we're going to rely on an excerpt from a book on Augustine. That'll be our sort of first thinker we encounter. 2 days for him. We'll do 2 days of Machiavelli. Then we're going to launch into what I think is the first most fun part, which is reading the book of Genesis. And there's a way of reading it that is philosophical. We start off by doing that through discussion questions, but also by me having you read it out loud in class. This portion of the class, when we're doing Genesis, is a time where we're learning content, but we're also practicing reading. And you're probably going to say, well, I already know how to read. Well, you do already know how to read, but I'm wanting us to work on close reading. That's a skill that I really want us to leave the class with. So we'll do that for a while, and then we'll switch to Cormac McCarthy's Blood Meridian, which has a lot of the themes of Genesis that we're exploring in Genesis that we explore in Augustine and Machiavelli. And these themes are about human nature, about justice, about sort of the flaws of earthly civilizations, the struggles of earthly civilizations. And I'm always edified by what I learn from you guys as we go through these texts. In terms of like basic things about the course, the point of the course, like I said, is to get you into kind of these concepts, learning how to think about political philosophy from the perspective of rigorous conceptual analysis, and extending that to politics generally. Because in a lot of ways, political philosophy is the foundation of politics. What I really focus on then is A, trying to get students to read and read well, and B, trying to get them to analyze well. So the bulk of your grade is going to be around your discussion questions. And as the semester goes on, I become more particular about how I grade that. But in the beginning, we're really just training. We're training our writing and our analyzing together. I'm just wanting you to get it on paper, and then we'll work with it. The other part of your grade that is important is your exams. There's 2 of them. There's a midterm and a final. I will explain those to you when we get closer. But they're very accessible. They really just take your attention and your time. They're not the kind of tests that is beyond what you can do. They take your focus. They're in-class blue book exams to avoid the temptation of AI. But we also prepare for the exams in class by having a review day. And then another portion of your grade is related to attendance and participation. There are times, of course, where students are not able to come to class for good reasons. There are things that are beyond our control, some of them quite serious. And while I have a general, expectation of attendance, I also will work with you if that's something that you're not able to do for whatever reason, in a way that won't impact your grade. When it comes to the text you need for the course, I'm going to give you scans, PDF scans of the Augustine stuff and the Machiavelli stuff. I'm also going to give you scans of Genesis because there's a particular interpretation that I use with footnotes and political commentary. So all that's going to be online. The only book you need to buy is Cormac McCarthy's Blood Meridian. And you don't need to even buy that like at the outset, because we've got to get through Genesis first. So I'm excited to see you on Wednesday. Be sure that you've watched No Country for Old Men and you have finished your discussion questions on No Country for Old Men, and you come with a physical copy of your handwritten answers for No Country for Old Men's discussion questions to turn into me on Wednesday, where we will discuss the movie based on, the answers that you gave. All right, I'm really happy that you're my student, and I look forward to the semester with you. Bye.